Welcome to this explainer. You know, if you're a writer, a world builder, or honestly just a massive fan of dark fantasy, you already know a really crucial secret. The most memorable characters, they aren't always the loudest ones in the room. They're definitely not the warlords screaming on the battlefield, or the chaotic mages leveling cities, or, well, the traditional monsters hiding under the bed. Actually, sometimes the absolute most chilling and unforgettable presence is the one sitting perfectly still in the shadows, just waiting for you to realize exactly how little you actually know about the universe. So today we're going to break down how to craft exactly that kind of character. We're looking at Stolas. He's a figure rooted super deeply in the ancient folklore of the Ars Goetia. And we're going to transform him from this historical demonology profile into a brilliant, deeply atmospheric dark fantasy mentor for your own stories.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly it captures the precise, intellectually cold cadence you really want to strike when writing this character. Just listen to this. The stars do not command you, they reveal how long you have been repeating yourself. It completely strips away human comfort, doesn't it? When you write Stolas, or really any mentor heavily inspired by him, he shouldn't sound angry or bombastic or overtly threatening. The vastness of the universe has kind of already made the argument for him. He simply points out the terrifying, massive patterns that your protagonist is just far too small to see. He makes the protagonist feel incredibly tiny, not through malice, but through the sheer, crushing weight of objective truth.
All right, here is our syllabus for today's explainer. We'll be going over the Prince of Night Wisdom, designing the Dark Observatory, the Watcher Between Worlds, writing the Cold Scholar, teaching stars and stones, and finally, plot hooks for the page. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The Prince of Night Wisdom, the 36th spirit of the Ars Goetia.
Okay, let's dive into this. To write Stolas effectively, we first have to understand exactly where he comes from. In the Ars Goetia tradition, there are countless spirits associated with battlefield force, massive violence, or sudden unearned wealth. But Stolas? He represents a massive shift in focus toward the night sky. He is a highly contemplative, almost academic folklore figure. While he holds the traditional rank of a great and powerful prince commanding 26 legions, his true power doesn't actually lie in warfare at all. It lies in his distinct domains: astronomy, stars, herbs, precious stones, and patient observation. For your fiction, you've got to understand him as the ultimate scholar. His kingdom isn't made of contested land or marching armies. No, his kingdom is correspondence. He rules the secret, hidden relationships between what grows in the dark earth below, what shines in the black sky above, and what sleeps silently inside the stones beneath our feet.
Moving right along to Section 2, designing the Dark Observatory, visualizing the aesthetic.
So before your characters even hear Stolas speak, they need to feel the crushing weight of his environment. You really want to ground your scenes in a quiet, incredibly scholarly atmosphere that feels ancient and, well, completely untouchable. Picture this: a subterranean sanctuary hidden deep beneath a ruined monastery. There is no wind in this place, no gore, and absolutely no standard ritualistic chaos. Instead, you want to ground your scene in rich sensory details. Describe the heavy, dusty scent of massive open herb books. Write about the metallic, rhythmic clicking of antique brass astrolabes measuring the slow turning of the earth. Describe the soft, eerie, almost suffocating glow of amethyst and raw precious stones that light up the subterranean room. Massive silver star charts hanging from the crumbling stone walls. It's an atmosphere of elegant, occult scholarship that should literally make the reader want to lower their voice to a whisper.
Section 3. The Watcher Between Worlds, taking a look at the raven form.
When you're introducing his physical form to the reader, you've got to rely on a very specific, deeply atmospheric visual palette. The golden rule here is show, don't tell. Don't just simply write that he was a big black bird. That's boring. Instead, write about the midnight blue and raven black of his feathers catching the scant, subterranean light. Describe the cold moon silver of the brass and metal instruments he perches upon. Detail how the amethyst violet glow of his scattered gemstones reflects deep within his dark, unblinking eyes, revealing an otherworldly nature that is just way too old to be purely animal. Use the earthy tones of herb green and crumbling old parchment to texture the space directly around his talons.
Now keep this specific definition at the absolute forefront of your mind while writing. His raven form is a librarian of the sky. He exists purely in the liminal space between the dead carrion of earthly survival and the vast black mirror of the heavens. When you write his physical movements in a scene, they should be majestic, perfectly still, and unnervingly deliberate. He isn't flapping around wildly, right? He isn't squawking. You convey his massive, incomprehensible intelligence through his quiet observation. He is noticing the tiny, intricate patterns that human beings simply ignore. While your protagonist is looking at the people in the room, Stolas is looking at the invisible strings pulling the puppets.
Section 4. Writing the cold scholar and the danger of knowledge. And this brilliantly illustrates the true danger of having Stolas as a mentor, his profound emotional coldness. He's a lonely genius with unmatched pattern recognition and infinite astronomical knowledge, but that brilliance comes with a terrifying detachment. His danger is super subtle. It's the profound danger of a teacher who never once raises his voice, but somehow shatters your entire worldview anyway. He has a distinct, chilling preference for treating people as if they were constellations. From a great distance, he finds them beautiful, mathematically fascinating, and worthy of study. But up close, on an individual, human level, he views them as completely interchangeable and totally disposable. So this brings us to the absolutely crucial, fatal flaw you must highlight in your writing. Stolas values vast cosmic logic over human emotional grief. Imagine your protagonist comes to him, weeping in devastation over a violently destroyed village or a murdered friend, seeking comfort or vengeance. Stolas will not offer a shoulder to cry on. He won't share their rage. Actually, he'll likely just calmly point a feathered wing toward the sky and mathematically explain how that village's destruction was written into a celestial cycle 1,000 years ago. He makes cold, hard knowledge feel vastly more important than human compassion, and experiencing that level of sheer apathy from a mentor, that is deeply, deeply unsettling for a protagonist.
Section 5. Teaching Stars and Stones. Diving into his arcane lessons.
Let's move to and see how this builds his actual curriculum on the page, because it is perfectly balanced. On one side, he teaches the heavens, rare celestial observations, constellations, and the grand mechanics of time and fate. On the other side, he teaches the earth, the hidden virtues of glowing stones, rare minerals, and ancient herbal remedies. Your narrative should use his lessons as a distinct bridge. Show him teaching your protagonist that the macrocosm affects the microcosm. For instance, write a scene where he explains that the precise, mathematically calculated angle of a dying star in the night sky directly dictates the medicinal potency of the specific root they must harvest at midnight. He fuses the untouchable logic of the stars with the grounded, tactile reality of the dirt.
Finally, Section 6. Plot hooks for the page, getting into the narrative application. Okay, here is your first dark fantasy hook. The Raven Observatory. Imagine your protagonist desperately needs to learn how to read the sky to stop an impending apocalyptic disaster. They scour the earth and finally find Stolas' hidden tower, which only materializes in the physical world when 3 specific stars perfectly align. But this celestial education comes at a heavy, deeply personal cost. For every profound, universe-shattering truth Stolas teaches them about the cosmos, the magic actively erases one of the comforting, false memories the protagonist relies on just to survive their past trauma. The terrifying cost of seeing too far into the truth is slowly losing the comforting lies that make you human.
Our second hook focuses tightly on his earthly knowledge of botany. A healer protagonist seeks out Stolas absolutely desperate to find a rare plant that only blooms under the pale light of a dead constellation. They needed to cure a horrific plague ravaging their family line. Stolas provides the exact location of the herb, but offers a quiet, chilling warning: administering this cure will permanently pull back the veil. It will reveal that this illness isn't a biological disease at all, but the physical manifestation of a broken, ancient oath sworn by the protagonist's ancestors centuries ago. The cure unearths a devastating, undeniable truth about their own cursed lineage.
And your third hook brilliantly combines his gemstone domain with his terrifying capacity for pattern recognition.
Say your adventurers, or perhaps deep earth miners, uncover a strange glowing violet-black gem and bring it to the scholarly raven to be identified. Stolas reveals that the stone doesn't show the future, rather it acts as an absolute mirror to destiny. It flawlessly and brutally illuminates the unyielding, doomed pattern behind every single choice the protagonist keeps making. It removes all illusion of free will, forcing the character to confront the chilling reality that they are the architects of their own endless, self-destructive cycle.
So as you bring Stolas to the page, building out his incredibly quiet observatory, leaning heavily into those deep blues and silvers of his aesthetic, and writing his chillingly detached, precise dialogue, you have a truly unique opportunity here. You get to ask your readers a profound question. It is the ultimate question of the cold scholar archetype. Does ultimate knowledge actually heal the human soul, or does it merely give it better, more accurate names for its wounds? Keep that thought in mind the next time your protagonist looks up at the vastness of the night sky. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy writing!